Everybody, happy Monday. Time for Monday Night Fishing Live. We're outside this evening on the river, hanging out. Wow, there's people here already. Who's here with us? Live chat. All right, everybody. What is going on? Happy Monday. How'd your day go? It's beautiful out. I'll start out the show reiterating what I said this morning in the morning report. This is 3 Mondays in a row that it's been beautiful, picture perfect, beautiful mornings on the lake. I mean, crazy. Perfect drift, blue sunny sky, warm, and the last 3 Saturdays have been pretty tough. And blowing, cold front, rain. I'll tell you, you work all week to have a Saturday morning to go fishing, and it's been a tough one. It has been a tough one. I said it again. I said it this morning too. All the different tournaments that went out on Saturday morning, it was sporty, and it got sportier as the morning went on. There were kayaks out there. There was a cash and rod tournament. I think somebody told me there was a PA Federation tournament. Those were both bass. I would assume the kayak tournament was bass as well. And they had the Shane Pinard, which was walleye. That was a team walleye derby. And my buddy Eric Wisniewski and his partner John DeLapp, they won it, the Shane Pinard, and Eric had the big walleye, had the lunker of the day too. And I talked to him since then. I don't know how big it was. He said it was almost 6 pounds. I don't know how long it was. So congratulations. There were some pretty good bags, pretty good limits weighed in out there last Saturday. And again, it was tough conditions. The fish were biting. I was out there Saturday morning and they were biting. It doesn't bother them. They actually on the west end, when that big east wind comes rolling in there, I think it turns it on, honestly. And the fishing can be lights out at times. And I think fishing's been pretty good this year. I think the weather's been a little weird, and that's affected people on when they could go or not go. I've heard a lot of, I haven't been out yet, or every time I have a chance to go, the weather's been crap. It looks like we're past that. I'll tell you, yesterday and today feel like summer. Not just the temperature, but, just that feel, that weather pattern. Everything's good and green. My lilac is going like crazy right here behind me. It's a little dark in the camera, but everything's green, lush. Water temps up to 65 this morning on the surface. Now, all the warm water on the whole length of the lake has been blown into the west end for the last week. So I'm sure that it's explaining some of it. But even when it settles back down, I bet you it'd still be 62, So we're getting there. We are absolutely getting there. Let's see. Alex Lamandola, Scott DeGata. Saturday afternoon was beautiful for me. I went then instead of the morning. Yeah, Saturday afternoon it did turn out beautiful. The clouds cleared Saturday afternoon. Courtney and I met our friends Eric and Sue Stanzik and went to Wingfest, which again I said it the other morning too, but I'll say it on Monday night. My partners in Walleye Fest also have their own company and they do Wingfest. And to everybody that went to Wingfest, right on. To my partners that do Wingfest, what an event. What an event. It was packed with people. Amazing food, beer, wine, slushies, tons of great music, Josh Deakins played Friday night. Unfortunately I didn't get down there Friday night. Saturday, I forget the name of the band. It's a local band. They were awesome, doing some covers of stuff that it sounded like the real band was right there. And the place was packed. That's how you do fun stuff. Syracuse, Central New York. That's how you get fun stuff to keep coming back, and more of it is when we support it. You know, and supporting something like that is a big deal, I think, and it keeps our town. There's something going on every weekend in the Central New York, Greater Syracuse area, and I think that's important. And we still find ourselves sometimes saying, oh hey, there's nothing to do, but there is stuff to do if you get out there and do it. Um, and enjoy it. And it looked like there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people enjoying it. And it kind of felt like the fair, actually, but it was awesome. And had some incredible wings. Um, Limp Lizard were my favorite. The strawberry something. It was sweet and spicy, and it was delicious. That was my favorite one. I don't know who won even, but I saw my buddy Ross Ireland from Empower, one of the title sponsors of the event. He was a judge, I believe. He was doing his best to cleanse his palate in between rounds of rounds of chicken wings. But yeah, it was a great time. Great time. Funny. Um, Yesterday was a perfect Sunday for me here. Courtney and I spend a lot of the summer. You drive by in the boat, you'll see the two of us sitting underneath the one of the umbrellas. Couldn't for the life of me think of what that word was. And just sitting watching the boat go by, having a drink, listening to music, just sitting there. And yesterday was the first day of the season I've done that. I had my phone right there, and I had the whatever app I was on, and I was watching the Knicks game, sitting outside in the beautiful sun, watching the Knicks game. Then the Knicks proceeded to get throttled in the garden. I'm not a huge NBA fan, but when the Knicks are good, I certainly watch. Always have been a Knicks fan going back to the Ewing days. Oddly enough, as a Syracuse guy, I loved Ewing when he was with the Knicks because then it was my team. When he was at Georgetown, I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see him coming over there? That's a I don't know what the hell you call it. Para something. Whoa, hey now. There's two of them. It's basically, here's what that thing is. And my wife and I were sitting out here looking at it yesterday. Here's what that thing is. It's a lawn chair with a fan on the back of it and a hang glider type parachute above it. Here comes the other one. Like he's coming in slow for a landing. Where's this guy? This guy's right behind the tree. Look at this. Ah, look at this. How freaking cool is that? That dude was just live. He should have did a trick or something. Oh, there's the other one right behind me. Man, that thing is awful low. If there was a big boat coming around the corner right now, you'd have a hood ornament. Anyway, you never know what you're going to see on the river. You never know. Some crazy stuff goes up and down this river. You would never realize it. It's a little tiny river. It's connected, though. It's connected. Not like, connected, but connected. All right. I'm just rambling. Badlands, beautiful background tonight. Yeah. Yes, it is. I was waving in the background. Are you out there, John? Did you go by in your boat and I didn't see you? Alex Lamondola picked up a jerk bait and tried it out after watching your video. Had a good rock bass and I missed a good bite. Couldn't really get the cadence down perfectly. So, okay. So my buddy Paul Messina was with me this morning. We were out fishing jerk baits and he'd never done it before either. And we'll do a quick, here's my rod. And when I hold it, even if I'm standing down in the boat, but I'll stand up on the bow. Paul was up on the back platform today. I keep my tip down. This is just how I do it. Again, let's remember that because I'll tell you in a second about another way to do it because there's never just one way to do anything. Trust me, especially when it comes to fishing. So I'm holding it like this so it's down, so the tip of the rod's facing down towards the water. And I take this pointer finger right here and I run it up along the blank, just above the reel seat. Okay. So that finger's on the rod. And I'm just doing this with my wrist. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing this. Now I'm fishing a rod with an extra fast tip, first and foremost, and it's extremely, extremely fast, and you can really move that jerk bait very well. Um, if you were fishing something with a fast action or a medium or moderate action, we wouldn't work the jerk bait the same. You can do it, and you can do it with any action, but you may have to move that rod farther with each snap. And before you even make your first cast, just flip it out away from the boat, away from shore, 10, 15 feet, reel it a little bit, and just do this with it. It's bump, bump, bump. It's from 1 to 3. Bump, 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 bump. There's a pause in between each of them. I don't do them in order. I just start doing it. Bump, 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 bump. Anything you want. You could put music on in the boat, and I swear to God, you could do it to the beat. Um, I think the biggest thing is because when you watch it close and you snap that tip on an extra fast tip rod, that jerk bait's coming this way, and all of a sudden it goes like this. And I don't know where those fish are in relation to the jerk bait. So maybe the jerk bait's back here doing this, and that fish is in front of it. Maybe it's behind it or off to the side. I'm not sure. Jerk baits are a visual bait. In the smallmouth world, that's clear day, um, clear water. That's jerk bait time. Um, and you want something that's a lighter, natural color, interior flash, a lot of flash. That's really going to send that flash out, saying I'm something, and I've lost my way. Whatever. I'm easy pickings. Um, don't get hung up on you can watch videos to your heart's content and I'm sure there are different things, the colder the water, the longer the pause, the more elongated you make that pause, painfully long sometimes, and have those fish come in and that's the trigger that they can't stand sitting there looking at it any longer. That's the trigger, they're right like that. Um, right now, these fish, you probably don't even have to pause. You could probably do it bump, 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 bump. You could probably just keep doing it nonstop, honestly. And they're just gonna and they'll rip it right out of your hand. The walleyes I caught today on it and the smallmouth. I hooked that last finger, around the neck of the spinning reel, just so they don't yank it out of my hand because it's sitting there on a pause like this. So, it's sitting like this, nose down or nose up a little, depending on which bait you're throwing. And then just as you move it, I don't know if they get a running start. If they're right there next to it, they just throttle it, you know, unmercifully. I'm assuming, it makes you really wonder what it must feel like to be a bait fish when they're in town. Um, one thing to feel them pulling on your imitation bait fish, but imagine being that bait fish, boom, gone, just like that. So Don't get hung up on getting the right perfect cadence. Just start popping it and just keep trying. Just keep doing things until you get bit a time or two, and then really remember and lock it in. Oh, I finally got bit. Oh, this is great. How did I get bit? What was I doing? What was my cadence? Dun 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 dun. Dun. As soon as you get them in, start fishing again. Do the same thing. Dun 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 dun. Um, and then if you get bit again, now it's a pattern. Once is an anomaly, twice is a pattern. Um, Paragliders. Tammy Hoover. Hey, hey, hey. Alex, do you only jerk it back to the boat, or is there a time where you reel it in straight for a second or two? Um, as soon as it hits the water, I typically reel it 3 to 5 or 6 times to get it down. Um, Not necessarily as deep as it will go, but deep. Um, but again, that's how I do it. So I'll get to something else here in 1 second. Let's get caught up. Uh, don't use Metallica as the music for the jerkbait cadence too fast. I bet you it isn't. I bet you it isn't. I bet you could do that. You could take different tunes out there with you. That might be a fun video. You could take different tunes out there, and different days they're gonna like different things, you know. But you could play like a greatest hits, and everybody in the boat gets one song, and if you catch a fish during that one song, like you win a prize or something. But you doing your jerkbait cadence to the music. That would be fun. That would actually be very fun. Um, that's how they hit the rapalas in the fall when we wade fish. Yeah, yeah, same thing. Take the rod right out of your hands. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know why I've got this Nerf football with me, but I do. Uh, what else, everybody? Not fade away. Listen, I jam all the time when I'm fishing. I'll have my earbuds in. Sometimes I'll have music playing if I'm not filming, um, or if the wind's too loud or something. And I don't know who he's waving to. Oh no, I do. I do know who that is. He wasn't waving to me though. Um, ha! Alex, that's a freaking great idea. Alex said everyone in the comments leaves a song and you play each song and see which one catches a fish. Good giveaway method. Ah, that is fun. That sounds fun too. Let's make sure it's something that I like. Tomorrow will be only Grateful Dead music. So feel free to put um feel free to put your favorite Dead song in the comments below, and I will look that song up tomorrow, play it, and I will do my jerkbait cadence with the beat. And I'm not saying that I might not even throw in a little song and dance too. Who knows? Stay tuned for that. Hey, I'll tell you guys something. I'll tell you guys something that only my wife knows. I got two really cool emails today. Um, I got one to do a video with New York State Department of Health about they just released their what do you call it? Their angler recommendations for like how much consumption for fish consumption. And I just got an email this afternoon from someone at Bill Lewis slash Yamamoto Baits um, about wanting to work together. And they said they saw the video and saw some of my videos and they liked it and they wanted to know if I was interested. I have no idea. This just happened today. Both of those things. You guys are the first ones to know. Um, I don't even know what to think. I haven't even thought about it yet, but it's pretty cool, right? Um, it's pretty cool. I was blown away. The I was blown away. You know, that kind of stuff is it's so gratifying when it comes your way. And when somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, we like what you're doing. We like what you're doing." How awesome is that to say and to hear? Who doesn't want to hear that? You know, everybody out there watching right now, I like what you're doing. Immediately, that makes you go, "Thanks. Thank you. I've been working hard lately." I bet you have. Haven't we all? So yeah, those were two things that it's funny. I don't necessarily always know how to share stuff like that. But the simple fact is that I'm happy about it and it's exciting, and I'm going to share that with you guys because if it wasn't for you guys, that stuff wouldn't happen. So you must like it. So I'm going to share it with you because I like it. How's that sound? Shakedown Street, Ramble on Rose. Alex, congratulations. Thank you. Just left the lake yesterday after 5 days up there. It's always hard to leave an item. So it's funny. So this morning, my buddy Paul and I were out, and we fish every Monday. We miss a Monday or here or there once in a while because of commitments, but we fish every Monday. And this morning, like I say, my wife said it 3 or 4 times yesterday. She goes, I think summer started today, meaning yesterday. This morning felt like a summer morning for the first time all season, and it's only the third week of May. And this has been a weird one for the record books weather year from last year all the way through the winter and now into the spring. I don't know if summers are, necessarily here, but boy, it felt very summery this morning, and we were fishing. It was a light breeze. It was warm. Um, I was fishing, but I could have cared less. After a little while, I went and sat down in between the consoles. I was drinking my coffee, and Paul's in the back of the boat fishing, and we're just shooting the breeze. Um, I couldn't have been happier doing exactly what I was doing. And you look around, and our lake is beautiful. Every lake is beautiful. Oneida Lake is gorgeous. Um, she has everything you want from one end to the other, top to bottom. Um, for so many species and so many different locations, she is New York's greatest lake. And we're a Great Lake state, but this is New York's greatest lake. And New York owns her. Um, and it's for all of us, and she's here, and we open our arms to people from all over the country, certainly across the Northeast. I mean, everybody knows the name of Night Lake. Everybody. I don't care if you're a walleye fisherman, bass fisherman, perch fisherman, you know Oneida Lake just like the world famous Salmon River or Eastern Lake Ontario or Mexico Bay or the St. Lawrence River and the Finger Lakes. I mean, it's an important body of water. And we Paul and I both found ourselves out there yesterday looking around, and we were down in deep in the West End. We were over on between Big Bay and the Channel, kind of in that shallow flat. And um, he was asking me about how deep it is, and because it really narrows down right there, the West End, before you hit and come under 81. And of course, they built 81. That used to be open lake, not just where the opening is, but that whole buildup where the launching pad or landing pad is, the ramp on both sides of the bridge, that was all put there. So that didn't used to be there. The lake just went back and forth right there. It was just wide open. Um, but it's very flat, a lot of swampland. Um, Wiz, there's the king of the hill right there, my friend. Take a bow, buddy. Um, tell everybody about that big fish, man. Now's your time. I might even be able to add you, Wiz, if you want to. Anyway, um, and we were talking about the lake and if they would ever come and dredge the channel going into from the lake going into 81, and I'm like, I don't know, but as we looked around, like, the big swamp is there. Big Bay Swamp, and then you go up around back towards Toad Harbor Swamp. Um, the lake was protected for the longest time in certain areas by these huge, the Cicero Swamp to the south. You know, Muskrat Bay Road wasn't there naturally. That was all built up. Um, the lake on the south shore there and what we know as Muskrat Bay, that went back, that shoreline and swamp would have went back another couple miles, and part of it would have went all the way south across 481 into that stretch of Cicero Swamp, from there all the way the other side of almost the Great Northern Mall. Um, there's a huge swamp complex, and that used to all be connected to our lake. So those ecosystems um, really combine to make something that's very special. I can never say that enough. And you get out there, and this morning we're sitting there talking. I'm in the sun, drinking my coffee, and looking around, and it's beautiful. We saw eagles and ospreys and fish of all kinds, jumping, biting. Um, Mornings like today, I'd like to remind everybody to stop and just really look around and be present in the moment and share it with somebody and absorb it and remember it and look at everything, and just take it in. It's not just about going out there and I got a limit, I got a limit, I got a limit. It's not just about that. It is about that. It is. That's part of it, but it's not the only part of it. And I don't think it's really the most important part most days. Um, some days it is, and some days that's just what it's all about. Some days it's so good, a blind man, you're just bailing them every cast. Huh, here comes the deal back over top. Here come both of them. I swear that's a lawn chair with a ceiling fan on the back of it. I'm not 100% sure I'm trusting my life to that thing. Especially when they hit it, they hit slow. See, doesn't that sound like he stalled it? Yeah. All of a sudden it backfires as he goes plummeting. But now we have the barking river dogs. All right, we're pushing in on the half an hour. Art King's open, so I got to go get my ice cream. So Wiz, 5.6 pounds, but how long was it? I know it was the tournament and you didn't, I'm sure you measured it though. I know you weighed it. Alex's comment says, I always tell people New York is one of the most underrated fishing states with world-class fishing in many areas. Freshwater speaking specifically, I'll put New York up against Minnesota and Wisconsin any day of the week. Um, Michigan, you can throw Michigan in there too. Um, North to south, east to west, we have multiple world class fisheries in our state. Um, Lake Ontario, boom, period. And that's world class for 5, 6 species, not all just trout and salmon, to include muskies, walleyes, and smallmouth, world class. And then all your salmon and trout species. The St. Lawrence Seaway, absolutely. It's been the number one fishery in North America, voted by BASS magazine multiple times, and I think 2 years in a row. Um, it churns out smallmouth the size of which has never been seen before in very many places ever. So I agree with you. I mean, yes, I'm a homer. Yes, I'm from New York. Yes, I'm from upstate. I'm a central New York kid and I'm biased, but I've also guided people from all over the world and they come here for a reason. So 24 inches, right on. 24 inches would have got you what, fifth place in the Derby? Uh, Aiden, how often are you fishing between the islands? Up on that big shallow flat? Never. Around the islands, yeah, quite a bit. But physically between them, I mean, I'll take the jet skis through there, but I'm not taking the boat in there. I mean, you could, but I'm not gonna. All right, 30 minutes, 30 seconds. Yes. Another successful live. Success. With you're the king, man. You guys, you and John. Um, I'm gonna tell. Okay, here's how we'll end tonight. I'm gonna tell you a funny Eric Wisniewski story. It's a story about him. He didn't really know it, but that's okay. Eric and I fished together last Wednesday. We went jerkbait fishing. We had a fun morning, caught a bunch of fish. Um, it was great, and that's all we did. We threw jerkbaits. One Friday, Saturday morning. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, I get on the boat. Um, I have my friend Moses with me. It's the first time I'd ever met him. First time I'd taken him fishing. Um, Friend of a friend. He comes. I meet him in the driveway. He comes down with me. I get the first corner of the boat cover off, and I get hit right, boom, just like this, with a big green stink fist. Like the cartoons when we were kids. You see it going like this, and all of a sudden it goes pow. It stunk, and listen, rotten fish is it's unmistakable. Every single one of you out there has left one in the bucket too long, forgot one. Well, I couldn't find it. I looked in the live well right off the bat, but I didn't see anything. um I saw a little bit of residual blood down in there, and I thought maybe it just didn't rinse it out fully from Wednesday when we kept some fish. um so I ran when I was running out that morning. I had the filler pump on the live well, so it filled it up. I figured it would slosh around, then drain out, and then problem solved. The whole ride out there, you could smell it. You kept getting wafts of it as the wind was kicking around in the cabin, and we fished all morning. The wind was howling, so that's probably what saved us because you didn't really smell it. And just as we and that we say that wind was howling all day, so I never heard the pump running all morning because I'd left my live well pump running. And when I sat down to start the boat to leave for the day, I see it running. I go, oh shit, it's still running. So I shut it off and I go running back um, to check. And I didn't have the drain. I had the drain plug open, so it was draining, so it didn't fill up. And I fling the I fling the door open of the live well to see before I realized that it was draining out. And there's a dead walleye there. And I'm like, oh, there's the smell. Haha. I discovered it. Um, Eric must have forgot one of them in the live well, and it was in there baking for 3 days. And when I opened that cover, I was like, oh, oh, it made my eye water. I was like, oh, I felt like Popeye. Um, so Moses and I had seen Eric and John that morning already once, and they'd went down below where in this one drift where Eric and I had been fishing on Wednesday. And I caught a 22 incher down there to end the morning. That's where he caught the 24. So we went down there by him again, and I yelled over to him. I'm like, "You SOB." I go, "You forgot one of those fish on Wednesday." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "I found one of those fish from Wednesday." And all of a sudden you could see his face go, and he, at first I thought it was like a scene out of Grumpy Old Men where they put the fish in each other's truck and let it sit for a couple days. Um, but that wasn't the case. but I was like, oh, thank God that stink is gone. Oh my Lord. Thank God. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, look at that. Aiden's giving up a hot spot for everybody. Hey, what's up, Merlin? All right, everybody. I'm out of here. Have a great evening. I'll see everybody on the water tomorrow. Keep your tip up.